happy to be here with Chris and this distinguished panel, and of course especially the representatives of the governments of the region who play such a key role in the forward movement towards the fulfillment of the great potential that is here in South America for the cruise industry. If the only thing that you knew or I knew about this area was Southern Hemisphere, fantastic history and culture, amazing places to see, many along the coast. If that was the only information that you had, you could reasonably conclude that the potential for cruising in this region is enormous. And it isn't because a few of us from far away came down here today to say things that you would like to hear, or that people who live here on a regular basis in the area, either in Argentina or like Ricardo in Brazil or anywhere nearby, would say that. It is a consequence of the nature of our industry. The nature of our industry is that in order for us to succeed as a cruise line or as a industry, we must profitably employ our ships every day of the year, year after year after year. And as the cruise industry has become a significant mainstream vacation choice, which we see this happening in every region of the world, we have, by tradition and history, more choices of what to do with our ships in the Northern Hemisphere, especially in the northern summer, than anywhere else in the world. The Caribbean, fortunately for this industry, is basically a year-round opportunity. But most of the other areas, Europe, Alaska, Bermuda, China now, are pretty concentrated in the northern summer. So in our search for balance, in our search for the opportunity to profitably employ our ships all the time, any opportunity that the industry has to create profitable employment of its ships in the Southern Hemisphere in the southern summer is of enormous strategic significance. It is therefore a terrific economic opportunity for this part of the world. This is also true for Singapore and the surrounding area, for Australia, for the Caribbean always, but especially for here. I think I said last year, I hope you don't mind if I say it again, I traveled all over South America in 1984, 3 years before I had any connection to this business. I went around the continent with my law school roommate. We saw Machu Picchu, the greatest man-made touristic attraction that I've ever seen in my life. We went to Iguazu Falls, the greatest natural attraction that I have ever seen in my life. And I've been all over the world. And I still haven't seen two things more amazing than that anywhere else in the world. When I think about people having cruise experiences in this part of the world, I find it personally very exciting. When I see where we are as a region here today compared to what I think it can be, we are at the very, very beginning of the game. If the cruise industry down here is like a soccer or football game, we are in the first 5 or 10 minutes of play. But how the rest of the game unfolds will depend on some fairly obvious strategies. The first and foremost, which of course Ricardo I know touched on, and I'm sure the other speakers did as well. cruising can really only be understood as a region. There are really no examples of one country being a self-contained, self-sufficient cruise region or market. Cruise customers want to see multiple environments, which usually means multiple countries, and it certainly means multiple regions of country on a cruise. It is a way of sampling destinations in a very efficient and pleasant way that is extremely difficult to duplicate by any other mode of travel, as I experienced just trying to get from one place to another place this morning. So if this area of the world, if the countries here will truly take advantage of the opportunity to work together regionally to create the best possible business conditions for cruise lines to grow, the best possible experience for the guests, our tourists, to have, then what you see here today is a very small-scale model of what there could be someday. But we need better infrastructure here in the region. We need a better cost, lower cost environment here in this region. And we've seen this all over the world. I know it is very easy for one jurisdiction, thinking about the cruise industry from one particular point of view, to feel that it is completely justified to add one, probably in their opinion, small cost to the overall equation, because there are so many variables that fit into the overall cruise equation. Of course,